Hello, welcome to the Impact Show. And once in a while, people tend to think that motivation is all about long hours of being advised or inspired. But it is also true that in our lives, we need to be motivated and inspired to continue doing what we are doing and not quit at all. In our lives, while we are being motivated, it includes a pat on the back or even congratulatory messages. Today, we are going to talk about why we need motivation in our lives. My name is Faith Lawino.
And I'm Shamim Hamisi. We are privileged to have Angelin Wangechi, an interior design student and a peer councilor, a part of the AACF, which is a charity and empowerment organization. So Angie, welcome.
I'm glad to be in this show.
Welcome, Angie. So Angie, what's your understanding of motivation?
Many times people, as you have said, think motivation is that moment. For example, when you were in high school, somebody has to be brought and give a very long speech, 2 hours, talking about motivation. But personally for me, motivation is when you feel that your energy is very low and you get that simple thing that will make you continue moving. So that inspiration is all that is needed for somebody to continue the journey.
And so, Angie, what are your motivations in life? What motivates you?
Personally, I have two very important people in my life, and those are my parents. I know we all come from different backgrounds, and as for me, I come from a family of counselors, let me say, both my father and my mother, and they have been a very great support system for me in terms of education, co-curricular activities. When I know that I have an activity and I'm really tensed up, I don't know what to do, I just call my father and he gives me a direction. Yes, we know what to do, but we also need that push. So that push might be your motivation.
So, Angie, you said your source of motivation comes from your parents, right? Let me say your parents went for a vacation and you are faced with a challenge. How will you go about it? No phone calls, you are on your own. What will you do?
Okay. There's one important thing I've learned as a peer counselor and as a lover of psychology. Human beings are independent. You don't get your decisions from other people. You have to make a decision by yourself. So if you get in a situation where you don't have that person whom you hold to very much for counseling or for motivation, there's that soul inside you. And that is where I would say self-love comes from, because you're feeling down, you don't have, for me maybe my parents are not near, but I can counsel myself.
Between pressure and pleasure, which one motivates us the most? Like happiness and sadness?
Okay, I love that question. It has a psychological bit of it. So let me start with pressure. So when you're doing something out of pressure, you really need to beat that deadline, or you really need to make someone happy. If you're working under pressure, most of the time is usually like that. And when you're working on pleasure, you mean that things makes you feel good. Yeah. So when you're doing something out of pleasure, there's the satisfaction bit of it. Yeah, because you're working on something you love. There's this quote, do what you love and love what you do. So after the work, you get the pleasure. For example, as a journalist, you'll interview somebody, and after that work, yes, it was tedious. You spent a lot of energy has been taken, but you'll feel good because you're enjoying the work. But if you don't love your work and your boss is trying to make you give it your all, you might work under pressure, and the job might be okay by the boss, but it's not satisfying for you.
Will you be motivated the more, or when you are sad, you are motivated the more? Let me say I fail in mathematics. Will I be motivated the more, or when I get 90%, I'm more motivated to work harder?
Beings, we have emotions every now and then. We are feeling happy this moment, the other time we are feeling sad. It's not always easy because feelings also have their edges. I would say focus on how you can control your emotions to bring out whatever is needed. So I would say that is emotional intelligence.
So now, Angie, why do we really need motivation?
I would say in life, circumstances are very unpredictable. You find yourself today you're good, you don't need motivation, or you feel I can do this life by my own, but the next day you'll wake up and you'll feel you need something, and that something is that motivation, that inspiration to keep you moving.
So Angie, can anybody in this world or in this life succeed without motivation?
I have had different arguments from people that you don't need to be motivated, you don't need to get that encouragement from a friend, from your teacher, from anyone, but motivation, it's not, I won't say that it's oxygen, but it's that very important aspect in life. Sometimes we get motivation even without knowing it.
Yeah.
So someone who uses drugs, does that person lack motivation?
That's a very funny question. I would say somebody who uses drugs might be even using because the parents use. So people have different ways of expressing themselves. Some people get motivation from friends, but you find that those friends are the same people who are teaching this person to take drugs. So again, I would say a human being is an independent person. You have to make your own decisions. Are you taking drugs? Yes. Where is this leading me? Is it helping me to get things done for myself? Yes.
And to wrap up, Angie, can motivation really change the world?
Yes. It all depends with, is that motivation really what the world needs? If it's what the world needs, then definitely it can change.
This was the Impact Show, and subscribe, comment, and watch. Until next